Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Towle Files. Today we're being joined by none other than Tom Danielson after a very successful night. Welcome, Tom.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, so let's start right at the beginning with the ACA initiative, the new Tom Danielson Cup. It looks like we had a lot of junior riders out here. It looks like something you're pretty proud of.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it. I think it's the first my step in the direction of junior cycling. I've done a lot with the collegiate athletes. I'm a collegiate athlete myself, but I got to the collegiate level from junior cycling. I was part of the RockShox Devo program, so it's important that we keep moving in the direction we're going with European cycling. We're, as Americans, we're really doing great over on that continent, and in big races like the Tour and the Vuelta and the Giro. And I thought, what better way to celebrate this launch of this series, but to bring some greats of the area that have done huge things in cycling and compare that and contrast that to what's going on now, and launch ourselves into the future and really go in a direction that I think will produce many, many champions.
So how much do you think through the year you're going to have a chance to see the kids race? You're based over in Europe the majority of the time, but will we get you at 5 of the races throughout the year?
With the internet, I'll be paying attention to all the races, of course, and meeting some of the junior faces tonight. I'm really excited to follow their careers, and there's a lot of exciting new prospect guys that were here tonight that are doing well in cyclocross and also doing well on the road. So, of course, on the internet I'll follow it, but there's a couple events that I see on my calendar that I can make, and I'm not going to announce them right now because I don't really know. I don't want Johan to say, "Oh, Tom, I see you committed to this race and it's not possible." So I'm gonna do my best to get to as many races as I can and support what I have a love for, and that's developing cycling and inspiring our future.
It seems like this off season you really have started reaching out back to the cycling community and giving back. Was that something that you consciously decided to do, or has it just sort of been the natural evolution of the life of Tom Danielson?
Ever since I made it as a professional cyclist back in 2003, when I had a contract and I had won some races, I said, I'm going to go for the Iron Horse record, and I'm going to get a bunch of people to donate some money if I break the record. And I myself will donate some money, and I'm going to start a scholarship, a collegiate scholarship, because I felt that my success in 2003 was a direct result of my experiences I had as a collegiate athlete. So I didn't have much money. I gave a lot of my money that I had, the very little that I had, to the scholarship, and now, we have this huge program at Fort Lewis College that's fantastic, and I see that program going in the right direction, and I thought, well, I need to do more. I need to look at the juniors, and I need to inspire guys, at the junior level to pick up a bike and give them a format to participate in that's exciting and has big fruit at the end of it for them to shoot for. So that was my goal, and that's why this off season I've worked very hard with some great people, and we've made it happen. And I'll tell you that my week of training before I came up here, I've just had a fantastic week on the bike because I was so excited because I knew this event was going to be killer, and then for it to happen and for it to go the way it did, it's awesome. And it's just the momentum that we carry from here tonight is going to go straight into that series, and I think there's going to be a lot of people wanting to jump on that bandwagon.
I think so too. And let's give some props to Dave Cho too. What a great job he does.
Yeah, Dave Cho is my man. I mean, him and his wife Karen and his brother Jamie are sort of my little posse that goes everywhere with me, and I mean, he can act as my agent, my PR guy. He does my website. He rides a bike with me. He does everything, and I really owe a lot of thanks to Dave and his posse because they really make things happen. I'll call him up and I'll say, you know what, Dave, I have this idea. You think this is possible? He'll call me back. He's like, it's possible. No one even questions it. There's not even any. I mean, with this series, this event tonight, there was not even any downtime, and that's what's really exciting with every result you get. If you give something back with each result, then you have these people ready to make commitments and ready to make decisions, and it's awesome to see guys like Dave get involved to make it happen.
Well, I know one thing that makes Dave real happy is watching you do well on the bike, and I want to talk about that stage 17 at the Vuelta a España this year. Is redemption a word that comes to mind? And as you've gone across that line and you've won the stage, and we talked about it tonight about there's always going to be the naysayers and the haters, no matter who you are. But that was a tough period, a tough couple of weeks for you. Can you put into words what that feeling was like coming across that line?
Yeah, I think redemption was part of it, but also, it was just a big weight over my shoulders. I mean, everyone always kind of puts this cart before the horse with me, and and I think I deserve it in a sense. You know, I think that my results are good enough that show, okay, yes, he can be a Grand Tour rider, and then everyone just really has a great time every time when I don't do something as good as I should have, you know, kind of giving me a hard time. So,
but don't they do that for everyone?
They do that for everyone, but I'm just saying I'm me, and
right.
And I think that part of my Vuelta experience was redemption on the front, that, you know, coming back and having that great performance, but also learning as an athlete to not give any weight to what people say or act or do, and just realize it's just part of the sport. And for me, I've just been working on just always trying to stay in the middle. Don't get too high when you have a great result, and don't get too low when things are going bad. And that's a big lesson that I learned in the Vuelta.
So going back to when things are going well for you, the Tour de Georgia this year, it was interesting after you won the year before. Coming in this year, obviously, once again, the pressure ratchets up. That day going up Brasstown Ball, did that change the way you're going to race in the future?
Yes, next year I'm going to attack at the bottom of Brasstown Ball, and I'm not going to look back.
When you've got an engine
this year, 2007.
So when you've got an engine like yours, Tom, does it really, you can make a statement like that because the legs can back it up? I mean, say I'm going to attack here in the race and then attack there, or is that just bravado?
Well, I mean, that climb is so hard, and I've done it. This will be my third year this year, so I think I understand the dynamics of the climb pretty well. And, you know, I had a good performance in 05, 06. Still won the stage. In my book, not a great performance, not something I'm proud of. So I think that all the mistakes that I did in 06 I learned from, and I'm not going to make them in 07. So that backs up my statement.
So you're just talking about being down in Arizona. Have you prioritized the Amgen Tour of California this year, or is it just too long of a year for you to be able to do that?
I wouldn't really say I prioritized it. I kind of want to keep my cards to my chest and not really say too much about my goals for this year. But overall, in 2007, I'd like to do some things that people don't think are possible of me to do.
What did you know, I heard some people saying, and it's gone back and forth, but that the crowds at the Amgen Tour this year were larger than some of the days at the Vuelta. True or false?
I think that's true. I mean, if you take the population of California and the cities that we were in and you shut down the streets, it's just like the San Francisco Grand Prix. I mean, you just shut down a city, you're going to have tons of people. And I mean, the Vuelta, you know, the stages that were in the Madrid and the big cities, of course you have big crowds. And really that's the key to making these exciting bike races is, you know, putting these races in the big cities. But I don't know. I think I'd like to see the Amgen Tour of California go up a big mountain and not be so concerned with the big crowds, but the big finishes. So
any word on the team? Is Basso going to be racing in California?
I have no idea.
Do you know what that team is right now, or is that even getting ahead of ourselves? I
don't even know. I know I'm doing it, and I don't really know the guys that are doing it. So I'm sure after training camp, we'll all know who's doing it, and I'm sure it'll be a good team. It's an important race for our team, and it's a beautiful race. Great fans, great weather. Well, hopefully great weather, and a great location, more or less. And I think that our team will want to send the biggest names we can to that race.
When you have a race in America, are you able to ask Johan and say, I'd like to have McCartney with me here, or you at that point with the team, or are you still just happy to be there kind of guy?
I'm definitely past the happy to be there kind of guy. You know, right now I'm the get the job done kind of guy, and I've got goals in my career, and it's time to make them happen. As far as teammates, of course, there's some guys that I love on the team, and I think that when Johan makes a decision on the program of what guys are going to that race, he really looks at the chemistry. So I think that I have some input and everyone has some input, but at the end of the day, it's really the chemistry going into the race.
So my final question for you is, you've talked about having goals and achieving those goals, stuff like Langkawi, stuff like Tour de Georgia, winning a stage at the Vuelta. You don't have to tell me what it is, but is there a goal in your mind right now?
I'd say there's probably about 4 goals in my mind right now. I don't really want to give them out, but let's just say I've worked very hard towards them.
I think you're going to actually achieve all of them, Tom. So for Dave Towle here with Tom Danielson, this is the Towle Files, and we'll see you down the road.